All right. Welcome back to the Dynasty Evaluation Show. We just had an hour show talking about trades. We were supposed to get through a team evaluation, but we ran out of time. So that'll be another show all in itself, another half-hour show. Try to keep these shows to about an hour or so. So right now, what we're going to do is I'll introduce myself, JohnMcGlynn75 on X. I am John McGlynn. I am the host of the Dynasty Evaluation Show, which we're on right now. And I am joined by Jtorange, Justin Taylor, the co-host of the Mo-host. And I have one of our team, our homies, Touchdown Timmy George with us, who our first show, we had three guys that said they were going to jump on. They could not. They had last-minute cancellations. But Timmy had his tooth worked on today, hence the name Tooth Fairy Timmy. So he's muscling through going to the dentist because he's a stud muffin. You being here with us today. So, Timmy, thanks for jumping on. JT, where can everybody find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at Jtorange on the X. And then you can find me here with you doing shows. Find me on Fantasy and Frames on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights doing shows, hockey season around the ice during football season. And actually now off season, you can get me on Dynasty 365 and Shoot the Gap, our IDP show.
Yeah, JohnMcGlynn75 on X. Touchdown Timmy George, where can they find you at?
Pretty much just play on Instagram. So the Tim George on Instagram, and then that's about it.
I'm trying to do the Insta face. I'm not good at it though.
Yeah, Timmy the Tooth.
I'll be good one day when I'm old. I'm already old. So, but on this show today, we're going to talk about this. I got my official Scott Fishbowl invite yesterday, or 2 days ago. We talked about my, all the stuff, and I'm doing that whole Fishbowl weekend. I'm going to Madison, Wisconsin, going to see Morgan Wallen with the wife for her birthday after a wedding on Friday night. So Friday night wedding, Morgan Wallen on Saturday, and the Scott Fishbowl in Madison on Sunday. Long weekend for me and the wife, but we're adults. We're good kids. We are ready to go. We got a new Dynasty startup coming up at the end of this, in a couple of months. But, so Timmy, tell me a little bit about the life of Timmy George. You got a minute. What's going on in your life? What's going on with life, family? Tell me about Cole Kmet's wedding. He lives right down the block from you, and you're like, hey, Cole Kmet's setting up for this wedding. What's going on?
Yeah. So Cole had his wedding. I stayed away from it because I'm a respectable neighbor. But, they had, I don't know, there's shit ton of people. You've seen it, I guess, in New York Times were ran with a story over there, but it was beautiful. It looked nice. I mean, I have to get to my house. I got to drive past his house or his parents. So it looked fun. Outside of that, can't wait for this Novocaine to wear off on the old mouth. And then, I got 3 kids. So coaching sports and playing golf is what I try to do.
I can't believe we didn't get an invite to Cole Kmet's wedding. You could have been our sticker bitch for our draft, man. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, he's smaller wedding. Obviously, Caleb was there. And then the internet ran wild with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were there, but they weren't. The wedding planner does a markup, right? When you go get a wedding done, they show you like a mock-up. And that's all it was. It was Serena Williams and them, and they just ran with it. Travis and was at Cole's wedding. It's like, nah, bro. There wasn't that much security there. There's one cop that's a local guy we know. And firefighter. Yeah, exactly. So it looked nice, though. Congratulations to him. Another guy that in the fantasy world, I don't know, we're not talking about fantasy, people are down. People are down on that and super high on everything else, not understanding that if you're going to give Caleb the benefit of the doubt, DJ Moore the benefit of the doubt,
keep going. There's 7 more guys before you get to Cole Kmet, buddy. Keep going.
Well, I mean, dude, Caleb, I thought was dog shit last year because he was doing Mr. Sanders moves where he's taking sacks instead of risking the ball or throwing it away. I thought that was all dog shit. Just watching it, because if you look at the metrics, you look at a point score and you break it down on the computer. Sacks, that many sacks is a hell of a lot worse than if he threw 7 more interceptions. Yes. So, anyways.
The mailman, Chris Joel Smith, says, woo! He's on the show all the time. Thanks for joining us today, Chris.
Timmy, the fact that you traded for Cole Kmet in our Dynasty League and then didn't get an invite to the wedding, that's ridiculous. I mean, you're like, Cole, I just traded for you, bro. I just traded for you in my league.
You should just showed up in a tuxedo on or something.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, when you're a neighbor. you're a neighbor. You can't be too weird to your neighbors, right? So you just
It's like
you
want to crash it. It's like you want to crash the wedding, but Tim's like, I'm a neighbor. If I crash it like that, I'll never live this down. Like,
correct.
They know me. They've seen my car. It's like, you can't do that.
He'll be moving next year anyway. Don't worry.
Yeah. So
hoping the 49ers, maybe you'll move to San Francisco or something. You couldn't walk your dog past his house once a week and be like, hey, Cole, what's going on? I'm your favorite neighbor. I know you're getting married soon.
He did. He lived here during COVID. He'd walk. They all walk through our cul-de-sac. You see him, but it's just like any other neighbor. You don't just run up to him. I mean, I probably talked more about Notre Dame baseball with their family than I did.
My neighbor is Joe, the air conditioning guy, not Cole Komet. So, yeah, I would walk up to Cole Komet if he was walking through my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. My brother and Cole and his brother got recruited by the same guy at Notre Dame that recruited my brother to Morehead State when he left Notre Dame. So it's kind of a small world. Funny for baseball. So
what do we want? Morehead. When do we want it? Now. That's a great saying. I love that stuff. But anyway, we got 32 teams to go through today on this 32-team evaluation list here, okay? Real quick question. I'm going to, commissioner question, okay? 30-man rosters, no kicker, no defense, 2 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a super flex. How many flex spots do you want on a 30-man roster after you have those first 8 positions done? Quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and 1 super flex. You want 1, 2, or 3 super or flex spots on that roster. JT, I'll start with you.
Probably 1 to 2.
2's the norm. I like 3.
How deep you want to make them? I think at least 2. 3, obviously, you're going to make it where you have to really have some depth on your team. Make sure you're filling out those rosters week to week, especially during the bye weeks and injuries. But I think at least 2. I don't have a problem with 3 though. I always like deeper starting lineups. It forces people to have a better, deeper team.
Yeah, it makes more even in my. Timmy, what do you want? 1, 2, or 3 flex spots in the startup?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how competitive you want the league to be. I think if you go to the 3, you're going to get really some diehards. You're going to really need to know. You're really going to take the luck out of it, more of a skill, right? I mean, obviously, there's always luck that plays into it, but just like JT just said, I think that you'll really differentiate, the pack when you're doing a 3 flex spot. But norm is 2, but I like 3. I wouldn't mind.
I like 3. 3's the way to go. All right. So what we do here is we go through all 32 teams. We do a real quick hit. That means 30 seconds. You got that, jerks? 30 seconds a team, all right? Maybe a minute at the most. That's what we're allowing time. I'm gonna ring the bell and cut you off after 1 minute, all right? I don't have a bell or a cutoff, but I'll just I'll tell you when it's time to go, all right? After Team 16, we got a message from the Podfather, but here we go. First one. JT, you start with the Bears. DeAndre Swift had a career high in fantasy football season last year. Why do the Bears fans want to replace him so badly?
I think it was just everybody got the Ashton Jeanty in their brain and thought like, oh, we could get Jeanty. That'd be awesome. I've liked Swift better than most people do. Everybody's kind of been out on him most of his career. Whenever he's healthy, he's been good. Now just getting him to play a whole season's been tough. So I think Bears fans were just looking for that next best thing. I think they could do worse than Swift. I actually love the Loveland and Burden picks.
Yes.
Over getting running back. So I was pretty happy with those. So I'm in on Swift this year. How many more years he have? I don't know. But if I'm a Bears fan, I still like Swift for this season. And he wears number 4, my favorite number. So got to root for him there.
If I'm not making the playoffs, halfway through, I'm getting rid of Swift after this year for sure. But if he's like an all-in guy, if I'm in playoff contention for sure. Touchdown, Timmy George, the Cincinnati Bengals. Chase Brown has the chance to be special this season. How much more can he improve from last year's RB13 finish?
Obviously, I don't think he got banged up, right? He didn't run for 1,000 yards, I don't believe. So obviously, he can improve there. You're going to have defenses are going to play the pass, right?
Yeah.
They invested heavily like a Madden team in their wide receivers. I think they gave them half the stadium, so that'll be cute to see in about 3 years in their salary cap, but. Obviously, I think he has. It's his first year as the primary ball carrier. He's a young guy. He's super fast. So I think that, he definitely can improve on that. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Bengals struggle in the red zone? So maybe just being able to have a little bit more, not put everything on Joe Burrow, even though I understand why you would. He's very successful, very good quarterback. But yeah, I think Chase Brown is going to be one of those players, especially in a PPR league, that I think can have some uptick. We'll see. I think he'll get 80% of the touches for sure in the backfield. I don't think they brought anyone in, so yeah.
I've seen him being projected as high as like RB5 this season. So I mean, I've seen some quite crazy projections, and I've seen him having regression too. So RB13 seems about right to me. I could see 10 or 12 or maybe like that, but RB5 seems a little bit out of the question. But JT,
John,
Bills,
who was all over Chase Brown 2 years ago?
Oh, I know this guy named Jtorange who was all over Chase Brown.
I told everybody they should be drafting Chase Brown. Everybody.
You did tell everybody that.
People weren't listening to me.
They weren't. They don't listen to you until after it's said. Give everybody the point the finger and say victory lap, JT.
That's right.
JT, Bills. What happens if James Cook is not a Bill in 2025? What if he still holds out? What happens?
The other guy I told you about should be drafting is going to have a monster year. That's my boy Ray Davis. Ray Davis. Go get him. I traded for James Cook in a league because the guy was looking to dump him. I'm not a big James Cook guy. I love Ray Davis, though. Be getting Ray Davis now, especially if people are nervous on James Cook, or if you have James Cook and you're nervous, go out and trade for Ray Davis right now just to take care of yourself. This I have a feeling this situation could get a little ugly with the Bills. Yeah. I wouldn't be paying him a ton of money. I mean, I don't know if you can ever get a year as good as James Cook had last year for him, just with the touchdowns and everything else. I wouldn't be paying him big money. We'll see what the Bills decide to do. But yeah, go do yourself a favor. Go get Ray Davis.
Go get Ray Davis is right. All right, back to you, touchdown, Timmy George, the Tooth Fairy. Broncos, is R.J. Harvey going to be able to walk in the NFL to a full-time role right from day one?
Doubtful, right? Doubtful just because that's putting a lot on his plate. The problem is, though, Sean loves to play guys he likes. He obviously picked that, Pat Bryant and R.J. Everyone said R.J. went a little bit, in the draft. I think he went in the second round. People are saying, he should have went in the third round. But, Sean Payton always gets his guys that he wants. I mean, that's asking a lot, right? Especially with they have a second-year quarterback, that pass protection. How quick is he going to pick that up, right? People forget about that. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball, but he needs to protect the quarterback. And just like every rookie, you're going to take a little bit of time. So I think he'll have a successful year. I would actually say I would put more money on it that he has the back end half of the year more successful than maybe the first half. Especially, there's a lot of different people. And I don't know what happened to Estime. I guess the guy just stopped playing football, but he's a pretty damn good college player for Notre Dame. I just found, we'll see what happens there. But I would say no to your answer. I say second half, 3/4 of the back half of the season. Guy will be pretty good, though.
Yeah. Joe Castleman, my neighbor right across the street. Joe, we got to drink some beers. I'm off work tonight. It's got done my 4-day night shift. I'm ready to drink. I saw on the Twitter, Joe says he saw on the Twitter machine that James Cook showed up to minicamp today. So there goes all that speculation for your boy, JT. It's over.
No, he's there, but he's still going to be complaining about the contract and see what happens.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I still think Ray Davis is going to be in the mix.
JT, Browns. Lots of Jerry Jeudy love this offseason, but is David Njoku going to lead this team in targets?
To me, this one's a tough call until we figure out who's going to be the starting quarterback. Right. Because all four of those guys play different in who they throw to, and are they deep threat guys, or are they dump off guys? I think the Njoku would make sense for the most targets, but if you look, it depends on who he plays. If Shador starts or Flacco starts, I think no. Both those guys want to go down the field. If it's Kenny Pickett, I think it goes to Njoku because Kenny Pickett can't get the ball down the field. He can go to Njoku. Dylan is, who knows if he starts. So to me, this is an ugly offense. I don't want any part of this team unless it's Quinshot Judkins right now. But I think it could go anyway. But it really, to me, depends on who leads the targets and who ends up winning the starting role there in Cleveland.
Don't act like Shador's got some golden arm because you like him, dude. He doesn't.
Okay, stop. Shador, you guys got to realize who made that Deshaun Watson. Who spent all the money there? Who was that call?
What do you mean?
The owner.
That was the owner's call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guess who told him the draft Sanders? The owner.
Deion Sanders called the owner and said, draft my son because I'm sick of waiting in this room. That's what happened.
I don't know if that happened. But
I think Shedeur should win that job, personally. I think he should win that job. There's no reason to play Joe Flacco this year if you're the Browns.
But they picked Dylan in the 3rd round. That coaching staff did. That coach,
Yes.
Kevin Shavansky. I mean, outside of his height, the guy has everything else. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be hard for Shedeur to start more than 3 games to the Browns this year. I mean, I think the public likes Shedeur more than the NFL, and that was clearly stated in the NFL. I didn't mean to touch on your subject, but the Shedeur shit.
Oh no, I think you're totally right. I think Shedeur should start. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a mess there. I think it's going to be a disaster. I said the one place I didn't want him going to was Cleveland if I thought he was going to have any success in the NFL. He went to Cleveland, and I was like, now I have the least amount of confidence of him being successful there. And I was one of the biggest Shedeur guys coming out in college. He was my QB1, so I took the hit on everybody else. Hates him, but I do not feel confident about this Browns situation whatsoever.
We have talked way too long about Shedeur Sanders. I don't even like the guy, so let's move on. Tim, Buccaneers. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are on the outside this year. Emeka Egbuka in the slot leads the team in targets as a rookie. Who says no?
Mike Evans will say no. I mean, they're not going to let a rookie come in there and lead. I mean, that's very hard, right?
It's not your average rookie, homie. It's Emeka Egbuka.
What?
Godwin might not be there for the start of the season. First of all, he might be on the pup. He might not get there first. So if it's Mike Evans on the outside, and now you got Baker Mayfield's favorite target is in the slot, and the new favorite target would be Emeka Egbuka. He could lead this team in targets this year as a rookie. Yes or no?
No. And you forgot about him. You forgot about Baker loving him. I mean, there's a lot of weapons on there. It's very hard to give it to a rookie that's been hanging out with Baker for a half a minute when these guys been here for a while. Never believe in hypotheticals. Godwin's a grinder since he's been at Penn State. He'll be out there.
JT, yes or no?
I don't think so. Too many mouths to feed, and Baker doesn't force it to one guy. I don't see a rookie leading the team in targets.
Well, I disagree with both you guys, but we'll move on. JT, Cardinals. I traded away all of my Trey Benson shares this offseason because I'm concerned. Did I jump the gun, or is Trey Benson like a buy right now?
Man, that's a toughie. I like Trey Benson a ton. He was my RB1 last year. Them re-signing Connor has got me nervous. I still like Trey Benson. I'm still in on the talent. I thought it would be at least 1 year before he kind of moved into the role. Now with Connor, it looks like it's going to be at least another year if Connor can stay healthy. For me, he's a buy right now just because most people are moving off of him. For the value, I'm buying him. But I will say my confidence in him is a little shook at the moment.
The Harry Snowman. What is up, boys? What's up with you, Harry Snowman? Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining us. All right. We are at Tim, the Chargers. How far into the season does Amari Hampton leave Najee Harris in the dust? Does that happen?
I don't know if it ever does. I think it's going to be a complicated backfield. And the reason why is just because it was so weird. It was like a weird relationship with Najee in Pittsburgh from day one. I don't know what was going on, if they just hated him. I just felt like there was more that he could have brought to the table. Maybe it just never tuition. Maybe it was the situation. It was always real weird after his rookie year. JT probably can tell us a little bit more, but it always just seemed kind of like a complicated relationship, which seems strange, especially when all the wide receivers are clowns. And it felt like Najee from day one came in, did his job. The offensive line sucked too a couple of years while he was there. So people forget about that. Hampton is good, but like Najee's a grinder, dude. He's been a dude that's been the dude since high school. So for you just to come in and think you're just going to throw him to the side, I find that hard to believe from a competitor standpoint. In hard balls, he's going to ride the hot hand, right? He'll probably ride the hot hand, and he likes that veteran leadership. He also brought him in for a reason.
Yeah.
So I say it's going to be – I don't think it happens this year. I think it's going to be pretty much a complicated backfield and riding the hot hand. So I just don't think he'll be – I think he'll always – both will get touches.
I like to make these like hypothetical questions, but a little bit out of like the norm so that they're not as easy to answer, or you have to open your mind a little bit to answer the question. So, but I like that, Tim. JT, Chiefs, tell me why Elijah Mitchell is going to lead this team in fantasy points at the conclusion of the season.
If he does, Tim is going to lose his mind. It's not Isaiah Pacheco, that's for sure. I'm very, very concerned about what's going to happen in this Chiefs backfield. I think it should be Pacheco, but like if anything happens to him or he gets slowed by injury, Mitchell, they brought in Rashard Smith, the rookie, who's got a ton of potential to play all over the place. I don't know what's going to happen with this backfield. I don't think it's Elijah Mitchell. I really don't. But I could see a world where it happens. I think it's Harry Stoneman's a Pacheco truther, so he's right there with Tim. Tim just made a crazy trade and got Pacheco. I'm not a Pacheco truther. I traded DeAndre Swift for him and a couple picks, and then turned around and immediately traded Pacheco for a couple seconds as soon as I could. So I'm probably the bad guy to answer on that one, but I don't necessarily think it's Elijah Mitchell.
Tim traded away 227 first to get Pacheco in one league I was in.
No, I didn't. I didn't make a bad trade. 2 bad trades, actually. Probably like 3, actually. I could have went back to back, but who cares? I was too many leagues last year. I get bored as fuck and just do dumb shit.
I love you, brother. I love you. All right, Tim, Colts. What are the odds Riley Leonard is a starting quarterback by week 12?
I mean, slim to none. I love Riley Leonard. I think he's going to be the most professional, polished, understand the defenses that are happening. But you got Daniel Jones there. They're going to give him a big leeway. They're going to give Anthony Richardson a big leeway. And that's, only 6 games each, right? And I don't know when their bye week is. So slim to none. I do believe that Riley Leonard has the potential to be like a Brock Purdy or someone that comes out of the blue that can execute, very good. And plus, everyone was so down on him at Notre Dame for Riley Leonard. You got to realize he didn't have any spring ball. He never got the practice. His first couple weeks of practice were games the first week. So as you've seen him, he progressed. And that's why the Notre Dame offense and the passing offense got so much better in the playoffs, because the dude was just finally got in there. So I think you give Riley Leonard, you see him if we're asking this question a year from now, I think he could be in the mix to start there maybe. He's a very polished young man. People forget he can run.
As a Colts season ticket holder, man, I tell you what, I thought that was a great pick. I mean, we're talking about 2 years ago, Riley Leonard as a possible first, second round quarterback. People were talking about him, had the injuries slowed him down. I think it's a great mix. I'm telling you what, I will not be shocked to see a ton of Riley Leonard jerseys week 1 for the Colts. Like Notre Dame fans are everywhere. They love the Colts. People love Riley Leonard. There's going to be Riley Leonard jerseys everywhere, even though he starts the season as QB3. You're going to see him all over the place.
And one other thing, because you're a Colts, remember, Anthony Richardson did this. They're complete opposites. If you watch the national championship, Riley Leonard ran it down their throat, and he threw up on the sideline. I was at the game, but he threw up on the sideline and kept running. So he's the complete opposite from a leadership standpoint. He's like a real true leader. I can't talk with the Novocaine. Shout out to Novocaine. Leader of men. So we'll see what happens. I mean, regardless, they got a good player that even if he's a backup his whole career, he'll be like Chase Daniels, where you're just making $80 million just being a good dude.
Just be a good dude. Be a good dude. That's half the battle, yes. I mean, I to be honest with you, Anthony Richardson is already having some issues with health and concerns, and he's already behind the 8 ball. He can't miss any practices. They don't. People in Indianapolis don't want to see Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback. They want a fresh start. I think Riley Leonard. The chance for Riley Leonard, if Daniel Jones started the season because Richardson can't, I think the chance for Riley Leonard, if they start losing some games, would be really loud in that stadium. So that's just my opinion.
Has any NFL team ever had 2 Duke quarterbacks on a roster at the same time? There's no way it's ever happened until now with Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard. 2 players that played at Duke. Almost never happened.
Harry says, I traded away all my AR last year. Daniel Jones the starter this year. Yeah, until my boy Riley Leonard, let's go Irish, takes over the position, buddy. That's how it's going to work. Riley Leonard time. I'm calling it right now. Week 12. JT, Cowboys. Do you want Jaden Blue or Javonte Williams on your fantasy football roster week 1 of the NFL season?
I don't want either of these guys, to be honest with you. I'm avoiding the Cowboys backfield. Jaden Blue is probably the guy you want just because the big playability for him. I don't know, and his receiving profile. He should see a pretty decent amount of catches in the passing game. I'm going Blue for big play capability and for receiving. If it's a non-PPR league, you probably want Williams because he's going to be the most likely guy down near the goal line to get touches. But I don't love either one of them. But if you twist my arm, I'd say Blue.
I think Javonte Williams is severely underrated this year. I think he's going to have a huge comeback year, to be honest with you. That's just me. I try to trade for him. People think other people have like-minded people that like Javonte Williams have him on a roster because they like him. I mean, they think there's some kind of, because he's in Dallas, the opportunities there. So it's hard to trade for him right now. I don't want to overpay for Javonte, but I think he's going to have a big year this year, to be honest with you. That's just me. Tim, my Dolphins, my old Dolphins, I used to like them, but now they're killing me. Mike McDaniel will be fired, and the Dolphins will be an absolute train wreck by the end of the season. True or false?
Well, I mean, it's starting out hot. Tyreek Hill seems like a pretty normal human. I shout out the Mental Health Month for Men. Tyreek Hill should take note, maybe get the guy some help. He came out last week and said, I don't want to be the captain. I'm not worthy of the captain. Well, that you are right on that. You are a clown. But yeah, I mean, you talk about toughness, you talk about depth, offensive line. Tua is one hit away. I mean, I don't think Daniels would get fired necessarily. The only reason, but I don't know. They make some weird adjustments. I always get confused how Waddle's not more, that offense.
I agree with that.
So actually, I'll just say this. Based on last year and how that offense went down so bad, yes, I do believe there could be an opportunity where he's fired. I hope not. Seems like a good guy, but I mean, they are a train wreck. I guess the answer that, yeah, they got nothing but red flags all over the place. I would like to see Waddle get the ball. They have to get a little bit more consistent on the spacing with the running backs. They had it good 2 years ago. Then last year it was, I mean, they're running your boy DA right through the tackles. He's not that type of dude. He's just not going to be consistent, even though
Jalen Wright is though.
Yeah, Texas A&M. So we'll see. I mean, I hope not, because I don't like people getting fired at anything. But yeah, they're going to be a train wreck. It's already starting out hot. Tyreek Hill needs to go. I would have traded him in the offseason if they could have got anything. He just seems like a pain in the ass. So long story short, I guess I'll answer yes.
He's got too much money owed to him. He ain't going nowhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Harry Snowman, the Dolphins have a guard problem. The Dolphins have a lot more than guard problems. They're going to have a lot of situations this year. Unfortunately, I think that team is going to be a dumpster fire really soon. Especially if they start losing, it's going to get real bad in the clubhouse too. So, JT Eagles, is Will Shipley the biggest handcuff you want to roster this season, especially with Saquon Barkley getting the Madden curse?
I like Shipley a lot. The question for me is he actually going to be the number 2? They signed A.J. Dillon. I think Shipley should be the number 2. If he ends up winning the number 2 job, absolutely, I want all the Shipley I can get backing up Saquon. I like Saquon a ton, but we know how hard it is to go back-to-back those type of years for running backs. A lot of them end up in injury, and a lot of them end up missing time. So Shipley is definitely a guy on my radar. I'm looking to go around in leagues and pick him up off the waiver wire if he's not already on a roster.
Yes, me too. I traded for him. You saw I had 2 trades in the last segment, our last show, where I got Will Shipley and Jonathan Brooks for like a 306. They just kind of threw. He's a throw-in right now. I'm not sure why people are getting rid of him so fast, but I'll take him everywhere I can. Tim, Falcons, Drake London, wide receiver 1 echo chamber is so loud this offseason. Is it going to happen?
You're praying that he has that like Michael Pittman year, right? You're gonna where he just gets overloaded, gets 50 targets, 160 targets. I mean, they have a quarterback, but I don't think Penix is the most mobile dude, right? So you're gonna have to have quick separation. I know that Atlanta had a shakeup in their offensive line, so I would have to check into more about their offensive line. I mean, that's kind of a tough ask. I'm not like a huge believer in that. I mean, But they don't have any other mouths to feed. I know people are going to say, what about Kyle Pitts? You've been saying that since the guy got drafted. That guy's better on Madden than he'll ever be in the NFL. He's already missing time, out of shape. He's the guy, the complete opposite. Instead of saying the best shape of your life, every year it's like he's out of shape. So it could happen as far as targets and volume and them not being very good. I'm not high on him, though. Separation, just – I don't know. He's going to have a Michael Pittman year. Is there an opportunity? Sure. We'll give it 40-60.
Yeah, that's I mean, he has a shit ton of targets coming his way. So I mean, he is going to get peppered with so many targets this year. He had a ton of targets last year too, but he is going to get peppered with targets this year. So let's see. JT 49ers. Do you prefer Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings in redraft?
Oh, that's a toughie. I'm probably leaning slightly Jennings in redraft, even though you could probably get him later than Pearsall in redraft. Obviously Pearsall for dynasty purposes, but redraft, I'm probably leaning Jennings. If he can have any kind of year like he did at the end of last year, man, he was getting all kinds of fed. It's going to be interesting to see what IU can do this year when he comes back.
Yes. Okay. Tim, the Giants, is Cam Scadaboo just a glorified version of Cody Schrader? Cody Schrader was a guy that we all loved before, so he was a fantasy football hero a year or two ago.
Love Cody Schrader, man. Grinder, Mizzou hero.
Yes.
Mizzou hero, man.
I'm just afraid that this is what's going to happen with Scadaboo this year, that he's a fan favorite, but he may not be the answer. What do you think, Timmy?
I mean, JT said this earlier about the Browns. I feel like when you go in the backfield and you play for the Giants, since they had, one of the twins back, 20 years ago, I think it's just tough sledding there. It's weird. Saquon's phenomenal, but look at him and how athletic he was and how great. Have they changed really? I mean, you got to have Russell Wilson, and then, next year they'll have Dart starting. I think he's got the profile for me. I think so. I mean, he played great against the Texas defense, which I was most impressive because he was used in different ways. So this will be really is how creative do they utilize him? You just run him through the tackles. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really utilization. I think he'll be slightly better, but I hate the Giants. I do. I hate the Giants. I don't think they want to be people to be successful. I think Saquon. So I think he's going to have like a humbling year. But I thought he would have a humbling day against Texas, and they game planned against them, and he dominated their ass. So,
he went ham.
Yeah. So I would say probably a little bit more glorified version, sure. You ask crazy ass questions. I don't like to answer yes or no to.
Cody Schrader led the SEC in rushing. And what is he doing now? He's just washing his tights on the practice squad.
Man, Cody Schrader is not fast, but dude, what a dude guy.
Heart of a lion. Yeah, absolutely.
John, I think that's commercial time.
Oh, commercial time. All right. Here we go.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode and a rebuild mode with Superflex and tight end premium controls. And a Dynasty League sync where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams. And then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs. And then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide, $25 value is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to all in and get $25 off.
Thanks, Podfather. D-Gens, get on there. Get your promo code. So next question is, where are we at, Tim? Jaguars, JT. Is Liam Cohen going to finally set Trevor Lawrence on fire?
I think he is. I think if Lawrence can stay healthy, I mean, the O-line, he's gotten crap kicked out of in the last couple seasons. But Brian Thomas, I love the Travis Hunter ad. I actually like Naomi Brown. I think he's a nice ad over Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis. I actually like this offense. I like what they have a chance. If they can somehow keep him upright and not get killed, I think T-Law has a chance to break out this year. I love him. I know you love him, John. I've got him in a million leagues. People who are selling, I'm buying. If you're in a league with me, sell me T-Law right now. I like it. I think he's going to have a big year. And I just think that AFC South is just wide open, man. I think it's going to be kind of a mess. And I think there's going to chance to have a pretty big year there.
I saw somebody get traded. They traded away Trevor Lawrence and they got Geno Smith in the second round pick. I mean, is that crazy or what?
I'll trade Geno in a second round for Trevor Lawrence all day long right now. I'm going to go send that trade out to a couple people.
That's amazing. I saw that. I'm like, what? Unbelievable. Tim, Jets. Is Isaiah Davis the handcuff to own over Braylon Allen? We just talked about this a minute ago, but is Isaiah Davis the handcuff to own over Braylon Allen in New York?
No, I mean, Allen showed that's your boy from Wisconsin. Don't you love him? Weren't you all about him?
I do love him.
This guy, John, I think I heard more about Allen than his own parents last year during fantasy. Now, I was too busy making good trades, crazy trades, just getting bored, making 13 to 14 trades during the draft. But you were just,
I do.
I honestly thought if this dude had a fan club, brother, you were the CEO of it. I mean, he's a dog. I mean, when he showed, I think if whatever happens with Bryce Hall, because there's a lot of speculation on that contract and all this stuff, and these people get all weird. If the Jets start out real slow and suck, do they maybe try to get anything they can? They don't think Bryce Hall, I think he's in his contract year, right? So maybe try to trade him, and then Allen gets all the touches. I think given the workload, he's a young dude. Remember, you told me he was 21 last year, so he's 22 this year. I like Allen all day. I mean, and he did play pretty well, and then obviously got his role reduced at a high level. But if I'm not mistaken, the 2 times that he Bryce Hall missed, he played well because I picked him up in one league, and I'm pretty sure he had a pretty decent showing, or at least got in the end zone for sure. So, no, Allen all day. That's your boy. I can't believe you even asked the question to even jeopardize his reputation.
I know. It hurts my feelings. But I got both of them in a lot of leagues, so I'll be able to figure that out.
You got a tattoo of your arm on him.
On my butt.
Yeah.
JT, Lions. Jameson Williams will be a top 5 wide receiver going into 2026. True or false?
False. Not in a full PPR league. Jameis, if you're going to look for him, where lower PPR and big plays are higher points, that's the league where he has a shot to get a top 5. I think in a full PPR, no, just because he's going to be the deep shot guy. I don't see him getting 85, 90 catches. He's probably going to be more in that 60 to 75 range. So I think he still has a shot to have a nice season. I don't think in a regular full PPR he breaks into the top 5.
In our leagues, they have PPR, and I also got him, okay? So I got Jameson, DJ Moore, my boy, my neighbor, shout out to Komet, and Pacheco. I don't give a shit about neighbors. He gets hit by a bus tomorrow. Maybe I got 4 other buses that need to hit my guys. Shout out to Timmy, the bus hitter. Anyways, the nicotine's starting to wear off, John. Feeling great.
All right, we got to get going then. We got to get going. Tim, Packers, how much Marshawn Lloyd are we going to see this season?
I don't know. Another thing, like these weird situations, it's just like we need like relationship counseling across the NFL. Another guy that just started out the coaching, just pissed off the coaching staff. Like they drafted the guy, they thought they were getting someone, and then he had soft tissue issues, and the coaching staff seemed like he was, not injured, but just hurt or banged up, and he was missing practice, right? If you go back and look at that dialogue, there was not a lot of like, oh, we don't know why he's not practicing. It's like, damn, you're the head coach. What do you mean you don't know why he's practicing? So it seems like he needs to make a better transition, maybe mature or understand his body a little bit better. If he's able to do that, he'll be on the field. But if he doesn't, what?
He had something taken out, though. Didn't he have like an appendicitis or something like that, or some kind of he had some kind of surgery, like one of those one of those organs you could take out. I don't know, your brain or your kidney or whatever. I don't know.
I think you got a vagina inserted. But I'm not a doctor. Because, like, look at it. Go look. I'm serious. Go look. He had like soft tissue injuries, whatever that was. I mean, it was a Murphy's Law for him last year. I do believe you're going to see him 10 times more than you did last year. He's obviously got speed. He can catch the ball. He went to USD. He's good. But yeah, he'll be good. What's this, Harry?
Harry, so man, isn't there a stat about how many 300 touch seasons in a row a running back can go through? Green Bay is another team like Arizona that did not pick up a running back in the class with running back talent. That is true. But
also, their coaching staff likes to divvy up the ball too, right, Snowman? So you know that. So even when you had like Aaron Jones, you'd be like, why is other people look at you covering my face, you dipshit. Anyways, so it's
John, you just covered up Timmy there.
Yeah.
Hey, it was appendectomy, a hamstring, and an ankle sprain.
Okay, this asshole got hurt with everything. He needs to drink milk, maybe a little cup of coffee. So if you want to see Lloyd, homeboy needs some protein from the crib.
That's what he's got to do. All right. That's not me. That is Nerd Boy. Get me a template. So I'm going to keep going on this. JT, Panthers. The addition of Ted McMillan just opened the door for Xavier Legette to reach his full potential, right?
I like it for Legette. I thought he would take at least a year to kind of get his footing together. He only had one big year in college. So I thought that was good for him to get a year on his belt. I think Ted McMillan helps him because I think Xavier Legette's a number 2 for you. I don't think he's ever going to be your number 1 guy on your team. I think he's a really good player if he can play opposite another good wide receiver. So I like the McMillan ad. I think it actually helps Legette.
Yeah, I think it helps with that big time too. I'll get rid of that in a second, Tim. Hold on a second. Let me ask the next question. Patriots. The lack of fumbling is what's going to turn Travion Henderson into a mega-producing 3-down back and leave only crumbs for Amadre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson this season, correct?
Well, John, I'm over here. This is Tim.
I'm going to move it.
Give me the tooth, man. Oh, shit, I'm back.
I'm back. There he is. That works too.
First of all, it's not going to have anything to do with fumbling. It's going to have everything to do with the development of Drake May. It's going to have everything to do with that defense. Come on, John. Fumbling, guy's a rookie, probably going to fumble. But I'm just saying, you also got to realize, we were talking this, I think JT said this, someone else got paid. Remember, they did pay Stevenson. I know it's a 1-year contract, but they still invested in enough before, obviously. And you know what Gabriel likes is hard-working dudes that just come to work every day. And Stevenson's one of those guys, regardless of the fumbling issue. He comes there to improve every day. So I think Henderson will be good. I think Henderson's at his best when he's a complimentary back in a sense. And I don't mean complimentary. When you put him in the right positions, because that guy can grab. We saw all this, right? We saw this, I think it was Texas, right? Where he catches a pass at the end of the first half and he takes a shit to the house 75 yards. So
right.
I think it's not going to have anything to do with fumbling. It's all going to be the development of Drake May. I think Henderson's a phenomenal pick if you're able to get him in a rookie draft. The guy's got all the skill set. Another guy that knows how to utilize, play against competition in his own RB room, right? With Junkins last year at Ohio State. So he likes to put in the work too. So I think he'll be fine. I don't think it has shit to do with fumbling though.
He fumbled once. Travion Henderson fumbled once in all of his college career. Ramadre Stevenson fumbled like 8 times last year alone. So, I mean, it is something to see.
That stat was said about another running back last year that was a rookie. He didn't fumble. He fumbled on his first carry. I don't know who that guy was, but maybe JT, you remember? Like some guy didn't
I know
fumble.
who it was.
Who was
it? The white kid.
It's racist.
Who was the shit. I'll come back to it in a minute. I know exactly who it is, but I don't know why I can't. Oh, no, it was the kid from the Raiders. The kid from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Dylan Lobb.
Your boy that you loved him that's now a kick returner.
Dylan Lobb.
First carry, right? Just fumbled it, never seen the floor since. Yeah.
Dylan Lobb is the guy, yes, absolutely.
And how many times did he fumble in college? This just doesn't mean college and the NFL are 2 different ball games. So we'll see. I think he's going to be amazing. If you can get Henderson, get him. Don't worry about John's fumbling issues, John's anxiety over there.
All right. JT, Raiders. How long am I supposed to roster Michael Mayer for until he gets traded or Brock Bowers goes down with an injury?
If I got Mayer on my roster, I'm holding him, man. Things he didn't get off to the start everybody's hoping for. Things kind of happened last year in Vegas. He had some personal issues, was away from the team. I think they can use him. I've said this before. Bowers is just a freak. You can use him anywhere. Having another tight end out there with him isn't affecting Bowers whatsoever. He can be played anywhere they want on the field. So I think Mayer gets in there. I think gets more involved. If Bowers goes down with injury, he's not going to be Bowers. So let's not pretend it's just like a 1-for-1 trade-off, but he can still be good. I think he's a solid player. And if he does get moved, I think he'll have even more value depending on what team he gets moved to. So I'm holding on to Michael Mayer. There's no way I'm dropping him on any of my rosters unless I'm just in a very short league where I don't have room for maybe a third tight end. If he's maybe my third tight end and it's just a short roster, then maybe I drop him. But in most Dynasty League rosters, I'm holding on to him.
Dylan Lobb was the answer. You are correct. If I was giving out prizes, Harry Snowman, you would get a prize. It was Dylan Lobb.
Hey, he's going to be a Steeler, JT.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think he would fit in nicely there.
Yeah. Tim, Rams. Why do some people think Devontae Adams will outscore Puka Nacua this season?
People like old people. Shout out to getting your breakfast discounted at McDonald's. I mean, I'm not really sure. Because listen, Devontae Adams, he comes with the thing is he had a great second half from a fantasy standpoint, right? Aaron Rodgers just fed him the ball so many times. You guys remember that in the playoffs and everything. Like I'm talking fantasy football playoffs, but that's because he had no one else on the Jets. Puka is a different dude. He's coming to work every day. You got Terrence Ferguson. Puka and Stafford have such a good relationship. Cooper Kupp didn't even see any passes like the last 4 games of the season, right? I mean, didn't he have like 3 out of 4 games where he had 1 or 2 catches for like 15 yards or something? So it's just, that relationship between Stafford and Puka in times of need is just too strong. I get it why people want to see the upside of Devontae Adams. You also got to realize Devontae Adams is old, my guys. I mean, the homeboy's getting the big breakfast for $3. So shout out to him, go Puka, and that's all I got to say.
Dude, that's what a good problem they have. They have those 2 receivers on a team, though. I mean, they're just it's this great route runners, but $3 big breakfast. Is that with pancakes or no? Or with hot cakes or no?
Yeah, you get the hot cakes with that. Get yourself a burning ice hot coffee too.
That's right. All right. Where are we at? Ravens, JT. Is Rashad Bateman a hidden gem in the Ravens offense or just a low-end roster clogger?
He's a low-end guy. He's a flex play depending on your league. I've got one league I'm really wide out, and he is my flex play right next to Darnell Mooney. I think that's what you're getting. I mean, I like Mooney. It's just as a flex play guy with a high upside again, with not a second wide receiver really on the Atlanta team. I feel that way about Bateman. Not really a second wide receiver outside of the tight end behind Flowers. He's a big play guy. Kind of got led by the 9 touchdowns last year. So if he had a touchdown, he helped you out. If he didn't have a touchdown, he didn't do much with you. 45 catches, 756 yards. I think he maybe can up those numbers a little bit, but I just don't think he's ever going to be a prime guy. He's probably a guy you're filling in if you're, if it's a deep league, you're playing him, or he's a guy you're probably playing on off weeks, buys, injuries, that type of thing. But he's not anything more than a flex play for me.
Yeah, I get it. Tim, Saints. Are you taking Shedeur Sanders in round 15 or Tyler Shuck in round 20?
Tyler Shuck. He has a better opportunity to play. The team actually likes him. I don't understand. I'll never understand the obsession with the Sanders outside of his dad being just the greatest marketing guy ever, right? Phenomenal marketer. But I think everyone realized, like, when a team drafts quarterback before you, they have Kenny Pickett still. They also got Joe Flacco. And you got to also realize, before the season, Kevin Stefanski was supposedly going to get fired, right? And that's who I wanted as our offensive coordinator. as a Bears fan. But I like Tyler. I do like Todd McShay. So if you ever listen to Todd McShay, he's been on Tyler's stuff. Now, I know that he's the meme of the year where he throws that stupid ass pass at the combine. But the guy went to Louisville. He's 6'5". He can run. What did he call himself? The great white hype or something when he ran that 40. I think he has the tangibles. And the moral of the story is he has more likelihood to start, especially this year. Now, if the Saints move on and they go get a top 3 pick next year, that's a different story. But Tyler, to answer your question in long fashion.
I like that answer. So I'll take that. I'll take the time to listen to it. That's a good answer. JT Seahawks. How much regression are we expecting from Sam Darnold from his previous season in Minnesota?
John, it seems like you're gonna see some regression. You have to. I mean, he was top 5 in passing yards, over 4,300, top 5 in touchdowns at 35. Here's the thing: I thought it was gonna be a pretty big step back, but if you go look at what Geno did last year, Geno threw for 1 yard more than Sam Darnold, 43.20. So He was top 4 in yards. Now, I think you could still see a 4,000 yard season out of Darnold, but I think where the regression you're going to see is touchdowns. 35, I think it's going to be hard for him to hit that. I don't think the Seahawks offense is as good as the Vikings. He does have as good players around him, even though I do like JSN. He's got a aging Cooper Kupp, not quite as many weapons there. I think his passing yards can still be there. I think he has a shot at 4,000. I don't think he beats last year, but I think you're going to see him closer to like 22, 23 touchdowns as opposed to 35. So I think that's where you're going to see a big hit for Darnold.
Big hit. I mean, me and you both love Sammy D. Give me some Sammy D, but I think he's just not in the same situation he was in last year. So yeah, I agree with that. Tim, you get the Pittsburgh Steelers, not JT, so I'm going to answer the question. Aaron Rodgers will preserve Mike Tomlin's record of staying above 500 or better. True or false?
Well, true. Tomlin will do that shit on his own. I mean, he had Kenny Two-Glove Pickett. He's going to have Timmy the Tooth come out there and play quarterback. That's still going to get the job done. I mean, he had Justin Fields, who apparently everyone hated. He had Russell confused Wilson. I mean, at least Aaron's going to be high all the time, so he'll be okay. It'll be fine. I mean, Tomlin's just a phenomenal coach. He just can't win a playoff game. This guy's he's like the Atlanta Braves, but just, game 1 of the playoffs. I think they lost 5. What are you saying?
I can't believe they didn't keep Justin Fields and they signed Aaron Rodgers. I really don't. That baffles me.
Well, it doesn't baffle me, John, and here's why. I always tell everyone the craziest thing I learned in college is one of my college roommates worked for Tony, who's the equipment manager for like 30 years at the Bears. You would watch these dudes practice without any cameras around. Justin Fields was dog shit, like horrific. It would be like a guy that you thought you wanted to bat 300 in practice. He was missing BP. He was missing balls. This dude was missing targets all the time, is my understanding. Like his throws were all over the place and stuff, which surprises me because Jay Fields been classy dude. He's hard not to like. Everyone was rooting for him. I was hoping they were going to have him start. But clearly, when Tomlin made that change, there was way more to the story than we've seen. Either hitting the correct person on the play, calling the wrong plays, making the bad decisions. JT, you would know better than anyone. I think the red zone, they struggled in the red zone. Right? In the beginning of those 5 games, even though they won, you would have to tell me more. And people forget about that shit. They think about the stats. They look at the winning record. But really what coaches want, the 2-minute drill in the red zone. And if you remember, even when the Bears were winning some games, that 2-minute drill, we kind of sucked at, right? So just remember, our coaching staff sucks. I don't blame him. Fields, nice kid. Seems like a great citizen, but I think that's why. So
I just think guys like that can't adjust from being the shotgun all the time to being under center. He can't read a defense that fast. Like he can't turn his back, fake the handoff, turn around and read a defense like NFL quarterback can't. It's going to come in time, hopefully, but he's still not there yet. So
he'd be a late bloomer like Sam Darnold. So I hope he does well. Good kid.
JT, Texans. Is Jaden Higgins this year's version of Keon Coleman?
I know a lot of people who are drafting him in the second round are really hoping he's not. I like Higgins. It's really going to be interesting what the Texans do. You got Nico, obviously the number one there. Tank Dell's going to miss the whole year. Brought in Christian Kirk. So Jalen Noel is his teammate at Iowa State. Both those guys together, how are they going to use them? Where does Christian Kirk fit in this? If you go back and you look at a lot of the numbers people put online, breaking kind of down his college career, guy's got speed. He's got really good height, but he looks like an X receiver, but he was way more successful out of the slot. That's going to be interesting. Do they put him in the slot, or does Noel or Kirk play in the slot? If he doesn't play in the slot, I think you might have some growing pains like the Keon Coleman, because Keon Coleman was another of those guys they forced him to play the X, even though he really wasn't an X, even though his body says he's an X. He's really more of a slot guy. So be interesting what Higgins happens. But if they try to force him into playing out of position, there's a very good chance you get a Keon Coleman type rookie flunk for him this year.
When you don't get separation, you can't play on the outside. You just can't play on the outside with a defender in your face, and you can't separate from the guy. You can't get off the ball. When you're in the slot, you got a 10-yard cushion to get off the ball, go left, go right, shake somebody, do a slant, quick out. When you're on the outside, you're stuck there, man. It's a sideline and a guy forcing you between the sideline and the middle and the hash mark. It's a tough position to play. If you're not a separator, you don't have good moves like a Devontae Adams or something like that, you are dead in the water if you're stuck on the outside and you're not a outside guy. It's a tough world to live in when you're not a good separator like that. Timmy, the Titans. Chigga leads the Titans in receiving yards at the conclusion of this season. Yes or no?
Well, I damn sure hope so.
I've been trying to trade Tim for the last 4 months for Chigga. He won't do it. He wants 201 or something like that. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot to ask a rookie quarterback, right? I always go back to who's throwing in the ball. They're going to want Cam Ward to spread down the ball. Now, you're also thinking with this question, you approached it like, won't that be a safety blanket? Maybe, but I feel like there's going to be the safety blanket. Don't they have Pollard still? He can catch the ball out of the backfield. They also have they got a couple of veterans. Who's their wide receivers? But moral of the story is, I think it's very, I hope so, but I think it's unlikely.
They got Ridley's the number one there, and then you got Alec Amonyor. I don't know why I can't ever struggle with that name. And then Shamir Dyke, that kind of stuff. So Tyler Lockett's in there too, but you got a couple running backs. You got Pollard and Tajay Spears. So it's I just feel like this is the you saw what Cam Ward did in college. He peppered a couple guys, mainly as tight end. So I'm thinking that Chig just is the beneficiary of a quarterback that's used to a safety blanket tight end.
Safety blanket will be Tyler Lockett, I think. And this is why. Same thing that Caleb did. Remember, he threw to Keenan Allen like a million times for no damn reason, but he just had that veteran leadership, a guy that's going to come in there and kind of help him coaching what he's seeing in the defense. That just builds instant relationship. Tyler Lockett's a true professional. I know he does run a little bit deeper routes, but he can run pretty much every route now, and he gets down right away. So he mostly will try to stay healthy. So I would say no to your question. After I forgot about Tyler Lockett.
Shig turns into Elijah Arroyo this year is kind of like what I'm thinking. Just I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together or make that work in my head, but it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always just produce like that. So
send me a first, and he's yours.
You can't make up for past trades that you blew, Timmy. I'm not giving you a first for a guy that Chig. I just got Chig for 4. What did I send you that trade? I got Chig and I got I sent 405 and 407 or something like that for Chig in a different league. So
dude, don't you feel bad picking on that guy? You want to give him like a wellness check? Should we call him, see if the guy's okay, if he even knows he's in the Madden league? I mean, listen, I admit when I'm dumb and just had the scoring incorrect because I was in too many leagues. The guy did that. That was just simply bad math on his portion. I got 4 from 1 for Neighbors. I don't care. Neighbors breaks his leg and he's fucking Tank Dell. Timmy's got 4 Benzes in the garage. Okay. So yeah, you ripped that guy off. I feel bad for that guy. If you want, I'll have someone call him, see if he's okay.
I got Keenan Allen for the 207 the 210 a couple days ago in a different league too. And it's in a 0.75 tight end premium league too.
Keenan Allen?
No, Keenan Allen. What did I say? Dalton Kincaid. What did I say? Keenan Allen.
You said Keenan Allen, which is
I didn't mean to say that. Dalton Kincaid in the tight end, that's 0.75 tight end premium league for the 210. I feel like that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of rude as a commissioner, probably just picking on people that are in your leagues. We probably should run that up the chain, see if that's okay to just pick on people. So people are calling you a bully, not me, John, other people. So keep ripping your guys off and keep your league strong.
Never veto, buddy. Never veto, okay? All right, JT, Vikings.
Sibs kill me. I love it.
I love it. Tim, you got to be on here more often when your tooth doesn't hurt. So you can laugh more and smile more. JT, Vikings. Is it possible for J.J. McCarthy to fail in this offense?
I don't think so. He'd have to play pretty bad, I think, for things to not go right. I was just kind of looking through some numbers, trying to figure out where he could be. I mean, if he doesn't have to put up Darnold numbers to be successful this year of what Darnold did last year, he easily could match what Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud did last year. I mean, all those guys threw between 3,500 and 37 yards. They all had 20 to 25 TDs, 900 yards rushing for Daniels, 500 for Caleb Williams, which I think JJ can be in that 500 range. So I think if you get 3,500 yards passing, 500 yards rushing, somewhere between 20 and 25 TDs, he's not been a guy that's thrown a lot of picks. So if he keeps his interceptions, in that 7, 8, 9 range, I think it's going to be a successful season for JJ.
Yeah, I think the upgrade from Jalen Naylor to Ty Felton in this offense is to me is a pretty big upgrade, in my opinion, anyway.
Felton's a really nice upgrade. Plus, you get TJ Hawkinson for the whole year. JJ had a year to learn. Had a year to look at it. Like I said, could he have the same type of season as Darnold did last year? I think it's possible. I think he has that upside. Asking a guy to do that in his first year, technically his first year, will be tough. But I think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to be solid, but I'm not over crazy expectations thinking he's throwing for 4,035 touchdowns.
Right. Tim, take us out with a banger here. The Washington Commanders. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is the buy of the offseason in all of fantasy football. True or false?
You already know the answer. When you wrote this out, you were thinking to yourself, how can I end this with the dumbest question of the day? Just to stick with Tim. So that would be hell no. Actually, the guy I like is DJ that's on the Colts. If anything happens to JT, not JT on our show, but Jonathan Taylor, I think DJ is a good Griddens, right? He's a dog, dude. I like him. No, I mean, listen, we're not going to know. There's going to be some sort of weird trade. I think trades are more frequent. Someone's going to fall in the right place at the right time. We'll know probably week 2. So to answer that question, no, I get the field against that guy. I love my chances. I think I'll be right. But no, I appreciate you having me on today. I talked with half the face. I was like 2-man on Batman, Joker, or whatever. This whole side of the face was numb, still kind of numb, about 75% numb. I just talked this much. So shout out to me. Shout out to my podcast. It's called The Mouth, Half Mouth today. But no, it was fun hanging out with you guys. I hope I kicked the shit out of your team too, JT, because I was so wrong. I actually didn't even know the scoring structure till like week 2 of the season. I'm like, oh shit. It's a half PPR wide receivers, Tim. Premium tight end and premium running backs because they get first down.
Guy wins the league undefeated, wins the league championship first year, and he didn't know the fucking scoring rules.
Yeah, you did win the league first year.
Yeah, and then I got bored. See, that's the problem with me.
You got bored is right. You got John McGlynn.
Because I literally could have ran the team back, and I would have been a champion again. No, I'm serious. Because I would have had neighbors, and I would just ran it back. But I'm a good guy, man of the people. A lot of people that know me, man of the people. I opened the league up for fair and allowed Chris to win. Because seriously, without me, he doesn't win shit. He should put so when he's talking at the draft this year, he should be like, I want to just thank Tim George. Without him, half this prize is his. Kind of like you want to thank your parents, you should thank his godfather, Timmy G. But anyways, no, I appreciate the hell out of you being in your leagues. It's always entertaining. JT, I know you want me to suck this year because I think you had my pick next year probably.
I do. I've got 2 of your picks next year. So I was like, if your team goes down, I'm not going to be totally upset about it. Sorry to say.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to draft well in the second round in the the 1-2. But when it gets closer, John, I would like to have a recap on all the drafts that go down, because I won't be at the draft this year, but we should do how everything went down, all the trades.
Get there, make it happen, nerd. All right, JT, where can everybody find you at?
Yep, you can find me at Jtorange on the X. Like I said, Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights on Fantasy and Frames. I do all kinds of podcasts. You can jump on there. And if you're a DLF subscriber, you can get all my ratings and my IDP rankings and my Devi rankings on there.
JohnMcGlynn75 on X. Thanks for watching the Dynasty Evaluation Show today with the Dynasty DGens on Player Profiler Plus. Tim, the Harry Snowman's got one more joke here. So, like Lace potato chips. Thanks, gentlemen, for the fun broadcast. I can't leave alone. I can't leave one. Thank you very much, Harry Snowman, for joining us. Thanks for all the guys in the YouTube channel. Last couple of shows that made our intro into the Player Profiler Plus YouTube channel and Dynasty Degenerates family. It's fantastic. So thanks very much, everybody, for joining us today. I'll talk.